Okay, this is going to be lesson 4 of constructed perspective, and it's going to be very different from anything else we did till now. So we have this weird volume. We need to cut it with 3 different cuts, so that we separate it in 5 volumes. Okay, so this volume, this weird volume, becomes 5 volumes. Those 5 volumes we are going to arrange so they form a composition, an architectural composition. So now we are mixing up architectural composition, perspective, constructed perspective, and this new approach in drawing compositions. Okay, so it's not just about the theory of composition; it's the approach being different. So we are starting this composition by drawing a triple projection of our intended volume arrangement, let's say. And then we will jump into constructed perspective. So first we will think about these cuts and generate the 5 volumes. Second, we will figure out how to arrange these volumes so they look really good. Third, we will draw the triple projection and axonometric drawing. And fourth, we will be drawing the constructed perspective of the whole literally composition, the whole arrangement of volumes. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out how to do these cuts. I know that because this volume has a curved part, cutting through that is going to generate some weird shapes, and that's good news because it's going to make the whole assignment interesting. So I just chose the one on the left, okay, with a perpendicular angle. And then obviously the whole thing, just all the 5 volumes completing each other, so they on one hand form a vertical volume which will feed our composition, would create that element of order. On the other hand, all the other volumes are going to be interesting, not too crazy. A right angle there and etc. will create decent looking volumes. And now I'm just figuring out how these volumes are going to look like. So number 1 is going to be kind of like a pizza slice, okay, and then number 2 is going to be the vertical dominant. Okay, so a weird volume encompassing all the cut and everything. By the way, this is just a sketch, so if it's a sketch it's not as precise as we could have this drawing, but that's fine. That's where the triple projection kicks in, right? You'll understand everything, the precise way these volumes are going to look like by drawing the triple projection. Number 3 is just a half cylinder. Number 5 should be a simple prism, and number 4 should be kind of a weird looking cylinder which is cut. Okay, it looks like kind of like number 1 but a bit deformed. Okay, so we got all these things. This is the thought process for now, right? This is making 100% sense. I'm sure you agree that this is a very welcome variation from our traditional way of doing drawing, okay, which implied just sketching the composition from the first go, which is very good when you're drawing something more conceptual. But we are trying now to go more towards that logical, pragmatic way of seeing things. So let's go to arranging the volumes, which were the principles behind the composition of vertical dominant, thirds for the vertical dominant and horizon line, foreground, Christmas tree, and curvature, which translates from the foreground to the Christmas tree. You can also add a horizontal dominant, a volume that is horizontal and also describes space, because if you have a vertical dominant and a horizontal dominant and they intersect, you get that those 2 axes which describe space. All right. Okay. Now we need to kind of figure out how these are going to look, in 3D and in triple projection. These volumes will change a lot, but that is fine. That's how things work in drawing. Until you get to the final idea, you'll have a process. Okay, you need to go through all these steps of this process. Some of them are like this, more artistic, and I mean, I wouldn't say artistic, but they're not very structured. Okay, imagine drawing a triple projection is very structured, while this isn't. But you need to go through them, because if you don't do that, you know, your triple projection is going to look very boring. You won't be able to organize your ideas. Okay, so this is left brain, right brain thinking. So this is right brain, it's creative. We are generating a possible idea for our composition. You know, the first image looked interesting, but you know, it wasn't what I was looking for. So let's experiment with the second one. Okay, this is the right brain thinking, and then we'll explain it as thoroughly as possible in a left brain organized triple projection. Okay, so all of this is very interesting. We are trying to create a horizontal dominant, and because these volumes are so weird with these inclined planes, maybe attempt to create some sort of equilibrium, you know, make them like, you know, literally lean on top of each other. Okay, make use of all those weird angles, because normally we just have simple objects, but now we want to make use of these weird cuts and angles. Again, we have 3 cuts and 5 volumes. Okay, and yeah, we can have a strong foreground. It's the horizontal dominant from the cylinder, etc. Okay, this is going to generate a very interesting you know, ensemble of volumes. When we are starting to draw this, we'll draw this composition in planar view. We also need to kind of define a perimeter with our volumes. Okay, so they're not lined up; they form like a perimeter, which describes space. So first we got the cuts, which is going to show the cuts in the frontal view. Then the triple projection, which is going to show the volumes in axonometric. Then the axonometric and technical drawing, triple projection, and then we have the constructed perspective. Okay, let's go.